a descendant of Thomas Jefferson, summer's hottest hits, business features, and much more on this episode of According to Mimi. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of According to Mimi. I'm your host, Mimi McClure, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Let's go to Terry with the commentary to find out who this month's business feature is.
Hey y'all, it's commentary once again just to bring you some updates on Black businesses that are out there because you know August is Black Business Month. Did you know that? I didn't know that. And I'm learning so much. So I'm excited to bring you 3 of choices that I found that I really thought that everyone could benefit from. Of course, first up is none other than Color Me Lips, right? It's the lip line brought to you by Sean Vaughn and, of course, According to Mimi. It's a brilliant line for all women of every shade. Check them out. Next up, Mantle Men. If you hop over to Instagram, go to Mantle Men, and Mantle is spelled M-A-N-T-L. It's a line brought to you by Karamo Brown, right? I'm just a fan. This is not an endorsement whatsoever. I'm definitely not getting paid for this. But I wanted to share with you guys, those of you fellas, this is specifically for you, who are embracing the bald look, right? It is skincare for men, literally head to beard, to take care of your overall look so you can always look polished and ready. I also want to call out an ally to the community, Magnolia, right? It's Chip and Joanna. Y'all know I love, Chip and Joanna. This is from IKEA, but it's inspired by, okay? Anyway, Chip and Joanna recently placed out a blog, and really it's a virtual vendor fair for all Black businesses. Like literally, hop over to magnolia.com, check it out. It's a full list of nothing but amazing products brought to you by our own. Check them out. I recommend it. I love them. Last but not least, I have something for everyone. So we talked about Color Me Lips. We talked about Mantle for men. Now everyone should start their morning with Black and Bold coffee. So I placed this order probably about a week ago and just got it, and I'm so excited to give it a try. I'm hearing nothing but raving reviews about it, and it's brought to you from 2 brothers, right, who linked up, and I don't know the full story. Again, this is not an endorsement, and I'm not paid, but I can't do anything but support the community, right? It is for a great cause, plus it's an amazing industry that they've tapped into, that they're bringing right directly to us, and it's found in Target. I mean, who doesn't love Target? Target makes you put on clothes. Walmart doesn't. Anyway, check them out. I got Rise and Grind and their traditional Black and Bold. Hop over to their Instagram page or mine to learn more. All right, guys, back to you, Mimi.
The Smithsonian Magazine, in partnership with renowned British UK-based photographer and videographer Drew Gardner, has unveiled a photographic exploration of identity, race, and ancestry in American history, entitled The Descendants Project. This work features recreations of portraits of 3 of America's most celebrated figures using their direct descendants as models. Joining me today is one of those featured descendants, Shannon LaNier, African-American news anchor in Houston and 6th great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd president of the United States. So Shannon, thank you so much for joining me on According to Mimi. Now, before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about who Shannon LaNier is?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, first of all, I am a father of 3. I am a husband to an amazing wife, Chandra. And I'm also a television news anchor and television show host. So I do a little bit of everything. I also tour the country doing motivational speaking engagements and talking to people about my life as a descendant of Thomas Jefferson. All of that all tied into one.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of being a descendant of Thomas Jefferson, that's exactly why I invited you to the show. Number one, you've been trending in the news for the past 2 weeks. And I know that you are working on a project with Smithsonian Magazine with Drew Gardner. Now, before we talk about that, let's talk about being the 6th great grandson of Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, I am a 9th generation descendant of Thomas Jefferson and his enslaved woman, Sally Hemings. That makes me the 6th great grandson of both TJ and Sally. We call him TJ in the family. Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. And I've known all my life. I've known ever since I was a kid. My mother told me, and it was through the oral history that was passed down to me. We had a lot of family members who helped preserve and find out more information about the family. So I've been very blessed to know it my entire life, and it's just one of those things that became almost second nature. You just know it. It's like knowing your grandma and your grandpa.
Wow, that's really interesting to me. And I know that you wrote a book, or you co-wrote a book with some of your relatives. And is it entitled Jefferson's Children?
Yeah, the title of the book I co-authored is called Jefferson's Children: The Story of One American Family. I wrote that with photojournalist Jane Feldman. She's in New York and does amazing work with reconciliation, peace building, and conflict resolution. But she also does a lot. She used to be like in the celebrity fields and public relations and all that stuff. So she's photographed the world. And it was an amazing experience to go on a journey around the country with her to meet the descendants of Thomas Jefferson, both through his wife Martha's side of the family and through Sally Hemings' side of the family. So in the book, you'll actually hear firsthand accounts from these family members about how they are related to Thomas Jefferson, and how some are just finding out, some have known their whole lives, and others thought that they were white their entire lives, and then found out when they were adults that they descend from Sally Hemings' side of the family. So you got a lot of surprises you'll read about in the book.
What? That is interesting. So you've had an opportunity to meet all of your family members?
Well, it's a really big family, so I'm still finding things. I'm still finding folks, but I haven't had the blessed opportunity to meet a lot of them through this experience of not only writing the book with Jane, but also touring around the country and going to family reunions. And, I travel a lot for work. So sometimes I'm just in a city and family will pop up, or I'll say, hey, I'm here, and we'll just meet up with family. So the blessing is that we have had an opportunity to really get to know each other as family without all the press and the cameras always in our faces, and really had an opportunity to just get to really know each other and find out that we have a lot in common in most cases.
Oh, I love that. Now let's fast forward to now. You are working with, or you did work with, British UK-based photographer, videographer Drew Gardner to participate in the Smithsonian Magazine Descendants Project. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
You all have to check out the Smithsonian's Descendants Project. Drew Gardner did an amazing job. Look on his Instagram page as well as my Instagram page at Mr. Shannon LaNier. You will not believe how similar I look to Jefferson. Basically, what they did is they dressed me up to look like Thomas Jefferson, and then they put a
white wig.
I did not wear the wig. I refused to. At first, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna put you in the period pieces and his wig." I was like, actually, I don't think that'll be a good idea. I didn't want to make it not be taken seriously by wearing the wig, or as being someone saying I was making fun of the situation. So I didn't want to become Jefferson. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be me in my skin, but also show, as this project tries to do, the similarities in us. But I never thought I looked like Thomas Jefferson. I was like, I don't look like dude, but when you see us side by side and they morph our faces together, it is amazing to see some of the resemblances in our facial features. So it was
Yes, and I saw it and I was shocked. I said, oh my goodness, you guys have strong facial similarities. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think there's other family members that look even more like him in my same family, like my cousin Doug Banks. He has a sharper nose, a smaller nose, so like certain things between them, and then his great grandmother looks just like Jefferson. So like their side of the family is even stronger. So when you see them side by side, it's remarkable.
So, Shannon, thank you for joining me today. If people would like to check out the Descendants Project, how can they do that?
So you can go to smithsonianmag.com/descendants. So smithsonianmag.com/descendants. And you can pick it up there. They have digital prints there, but you can also pick the Smithsonian magazine up, as well as look up Drew Gardner on his Instagram page, or myself, Mr. Shannon LaNier, on my Instagram page.
Excellent. And I know that you mentioned the book. If people would like to purchase the book, where can they go to purchase the book?
Most places have it online, Amazon, different places, booksellers online at Jefferson. You can just look up Jefferson's Children, the story of one American family. Check that out. And you can also check me out, especially if you're in Houston, on the CW39 morning show. It's every weekday from 6 to 10 a.m. on the CW39.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining me on According to Mimi, Shannon. And I cannot wait to check out the Smithsonian piece, Descendants Project. Thank you so much. Per the National Kidney Foundation website, more than 37 American adults are living with kidney disease, and most don't know it. Here to share his dialysis journey, as well as talk about the importance of becoming a kidney donor, is Cedric Brooks, legendary Shreveport DJ, better known as DJ Scribbles. DJ Scribbles, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, style.
I love it.
How y'all doing?
So Cedric, before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about who Cedric DJ Scribbles Brooks is?
Well, I'm a kid originally from Chicago. I want to say about 11, 12, my mother decided that she was tired of the violence in Chicago and things like that. So we decided to move here to Shreveport, Louisiana. I've currently been here since then. I'm now 30. I'm about to say I first got into comedy, and I started doing a lot of comedy. And when my mother was here, we was doing comedy, and the comedy was great and things like that. But then I lost my motivation once my mother passed. She passed in 2012. And once she passed away, I basically lost motivation. And in 2015, I got involved with music, and I love music. So they was like, hey man, you can use probably your comedy and mix it in with DJing. Before you know it, we got DJ Scribbles was born. So I started DJing a lot, and that's basically where I'm at now. I'm at the DJ point. So that's what's going on. I have 4 beautiful kids. One of them goes to LSU College. Then I have 2 daughters, 2 sons. I also have a beautiful wife that I've been with the last 9 years. She is a little nerve-wracking, but she is my nerve-wracking. Yes, I can't live without her. So
hey,
that's basically what's going on.
Big shout out to your team, because they are your tech team. They got you set up today, right?
Yes, they are the technical team. They're somewhere around here. They're spread out right now. My wife, she like to stay in the background, but she is definitely somewhere close.
I love it. So, let's fast forward to today. Can you tell me about when you were first diagnosed with kidney disease?
So, when I was 20 years old, and I had like high blood pressure, and the doctors was trying to control my blood pressure. So they gave me this medication called lisinopril, and I started taking that medication. I didn't do any kind of research or anything on it. I just started taking that medication. And as I took that medication, I didn't know that at the time it was affecting my kidneys at the time. So I took that medication. It started affecting my kidneys. At 22, I got diagnosed with kidney failure. Wow. And I've been battling that now for 8 years. A year ago, I got placed on dialysis because they said that my kidney function had ran out. So they was like, we're gonna have to place you on dialysis. It's life changing. It is definitely life changing. It's one of the worst experiences that I ever have went through in my whole life.
And I'm so sorry, Sid, personally. My heart goes out to you because I do know people who have had kidney disease, and I know the dialysis journey. Can you share with me about your dialysis journey?
So 2 years ago, I was 480 pounds. I weighed 480 pounds. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was 480 pounds. What happened is, with me being 480 pounds, my doctor told me, he said, you need to lose a lot of weight. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer you to the transplant clinic because we want to get you a kidney. You're so young. We want to try to get you a kidney and things like that. So what happened is, first of all, I went over there to the kidney transplant, and by me being 480 pounds, and I'm only 5'9", they basically told me that you would never make the kidney list. You would never be on the list, period. At your size, at your weight, at your BMI. So I had to go through a series of things to lose a lot of weight. Currently today, I am 220 pounds. So I have lost 260 pounds.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Here in Shreveport, I think you go on willis9.com because that's where it's set up through. You go on willis9.com and you see if like your potential match. But like I stated before, it is a series of tests that you go through and things like that. You do not just get on the list. You do not just donate. They make sure that your BMI is okay. And they actually make sure that at the same time that you're healthy enough to live with one kidney, because once you give up a kidney, you're only going to be living with one. Now, it is perfectly fine for somebody to live with one kidney, but like I say, a lot of people don't donate. A lot of things like when they pass away, they're not kidney donors or organ donors. So that means that that person just dies and their organs and body parts go with them. So the list is long. It is long, and it is a long wait time on getting a kidney. According to the list, it's like a 3 to 5 year wait.
Wow. Well, DJ Scribbles said, I appreciate you for sharing your story with us. And my hope is that someone will be watching today and they say, okay, I need to go get tested because I feel like I would be a great donor to be on the list. So the list can be cut in half from 3 to 5 years to, 3 to 5 months. Because
yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely put all of your information on the screen so people can show their support, and hopefully someone will be able to reach out that is a perfect match. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Mimi. I had a great time. H-time.
Trying to figure out what songs to put on your summer 2020 playlist? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Joining me today is DJ Jack Frost, Mr. Don't Look If You Took, the hottest songs to put on your summer 2020 playlist, and also share with us about his Frostbitten entertainment line and apparel line. Thank you for joining me today, DJ Jack Frost. Let's do this. Let's count them down. This is DJ Jack Frost's top 10 songs to put on your playlist for summer 2020. What's number one?
No particular order. And I mean, we can go 1 to 10, but it's not like these are my top rank, so I'll say like Be King Leave, which is a hot song right now that a lot of people are into. Megan Savage remix would be High Fashion, Rowdy Rich. Blueberry Faygo. I can't remember the artist's name again, but that song is hot. The Box Still, Rowdy Rich, Shot of Flow, NLE Chopper. How many was that?
That's 6.
We can go with I'll still say Ken the Man, He Be Like, because that song is still peaking. It's still doing its thing right now in the city.
Definitely. That's a good mix to where if we weren't in COVID and you wanted to get the party started, those songs would definitely get the party started.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
do this. Who are some local artists, not big name brands, that you would say we should probably add to the rotation this summer?
Well, definitely Ken the Man is growing, which is a female artist. She's growing right now. You know, the song He Be Like is doing its thing.
What about Raji Diego?
Huh?
Throw that in there.
You said Frosty Diego?
What about Raji Diego? I had to throw that one in there.
Well, see, the thing is this. A lot of the new artists, I have their music, but they're not, a lot of them are not pushing well, my personal opinion, like I want. So the songs are like just idle. If you catch what I mean, they're not really doing much. You know, it depends on what clubs you're in and where they frequently visit. So you'll hear their music a little more, you know, but you still have Bussin', Fast Lane, you know, he's still doing pretty good.
Well, we appreciate you coming on to tell us the hottest songs for summer 2020 to make sure that we keep in rotation. And if people would like to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you?
I have my website, www.djjackfrost.com, as well as my clothing line site, www.frostbittenapparel.com. I'm on all social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook is at DJ Jack Frost. Twitter is at DJ Jack Frost with the number 1 behind it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming by to tell us what songs we need to keep in rotation this summer. And I appreciate you for stopping by.
And I'm gonna need you to get up on the little rap or hip hop so you can know what's going on.
Hey, let me tell you, I think I am a rapper.
Can we get a freestyle before we go?
My name is Mimi, and I'm number 1.
hey, okay. Thank you for having me.
And if they want to book me, they have to go through you, through Frostbitten.
Okay, I'm gonna start my management firm right now. We're gonna set this up.
Thank you for joining us.
And thanks for having me.
I'd like to leave you with a moment of inspiration by Pastor Blake that is sure to encourage and uplift you and inspire you. Until next time, this has been According to Mimi, and I am your host, Mimi McClure.
Hey, this is Pastor Blake Wilson. I hope you just enjoyed the 3rd episode of According to Mimi. Always awesome. Thank you, Mimi, for everything that you're doing for our community and how you're trying to shed light and bring life to people. And so you've given me another opportunity to share one more time an inspirational moment. And this inspirational moment is about influence. And when we talk about the word influence, we want to talk about changing and affecting the lives and the behaviors of people and how people think and how people act. So it's one thing to influence somebody that's a good friend of yours, to influence them to do something that's the right thing. But what is it like when you're trying to influence someone who's totally against your opinion, totally against your value system? Well, that's really hard. Well, if you look at the experience of the African American throughout the years, we've been in slavery, we've been in Jim Crow South, we've experienced what we're experiencing even today in the current presidency. Let me just share this with you. I thank God for people of influence like Nat Turner, people of God like Sojourner Truth, people of God like Frederick Douglass, people of God like Harriet Tubman. I thank God for modern day warriors that just passed away like C.T. Vivian and John Lewis. I thank God for old time saints like Shirley Chisholm and Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Here's the deal. All of them stood in systems that were against them, entire governmental systems and structures that were against them. And they stood up in the face of those structures and said, what you're doing is wrong and immoral. And they called them to justice, called them to righteousness. And they used their influence. Now watch, they weren't in the position of power because they weren't, watch this, Governor George Wallace. They were not Mayor Bull Connor. They were not, at that time, the presidents of the civil rights era. They weren't those individuals. They were just little preachers. They were just little people who said this is not right. But they they stood up and used the platform of influence because God actually had them in the position of power. While they didn't have the position, they had the position of power. It wasn't Pharaoh who had the power. It was actually Moses who had the power. It wasn't Pilate who had the power. It was actually Jesus that had the power. So when you really look at it, you have to look at being able to stand against whole systems that are against you and say, how can I be used to influence this entire system? Why? Because if God is for me, he's more than the world against me. And that's where all of your influence come from. How do I stand up and do the right thing and stand out and do the right thing to change the world?